What's going on, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into the books I read this week, starting over in Marvel. We're going to start with ASM issue number 3. So issue number 1 and 2 were kind of duds for me, to be honest with you. The artwork is about 80% is where I think it should be. The writing is still not like engaging, captivating. It feels like we're pulling a lot of baggage forward. It's just not a story that I really want to hear necessarily. Peter's been drugged right now. We're trying to uncover that a little bit more. We know more about that in issue number 3 right here. But we have some legacy, and maybe not legacy, but some villains that are popping in that are new to me, at least. And they're kind of weird and deranged and like under the same spell that Peter's under right now. So they're hallucinating a lot, they're fighting, things like that. The other thing I'm not really enjoying with ASM is he still has friends that are shady and they have shady past, and it doesn't matter how much redemption they have. There's always going to be something that pops off, and there's going to be these little hints or little winks or nods in the artwork and the writing. That's going to always make you feel like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you still friends with these people? I don't understand. I understand like redemption arcs and things like that, but these are the kind of things that make me roll my eyes a little bit when I'm reading comics, to be honest with you, because I don't know. I just don't want to see that stuff happen over and over again. Artwork is pretty cool inside this book, right? Pepe the Rez is like the reason to get this book, I would say. Need the story to catch up, though. Let me know what you guys thought of ASM issue number 3 down below. Chris Condon over on Ultimate Wolverine, we have issue number 5, the Sabretooth issue. This was awesome. Loved this issue. This whole series has been pretty good. The art has been spectacular in here. I love the idea of a Winter Soldier / Wolverine character being controlled by the Rasputins and whatever else. I like that, going on all these little secret missions, these little hints that maybe eventually we're going to be switching sides, right? He's going to snap out of whatever spell this is and join forces with the good guys. That's probably still going to be happening, but I've been enjoying the ride so far. But there hasn't been a whole lot besides like understanding his mental state and, hinting that we're going to go good at some point. This one right here features the relationship between the Ultimate Sabretooth, which is an amazing character in the story, the complicated relationship between him and Logan, and we get to see what this Ultimate Wolverine looked like before he was brainwashed into the Winter Soldier. Loved all that. It's gruesome, it's gory, it's got a great backstory between those two characters. Loved this issue. Number 5 is out. Make sure you read it. Continuing Marvel, we have Star Wars issue number 1, the big issue right here. So it's got to be great, right? We got Phil Noto on the art. That's pretty cool. We have Segura on the writing. Not too familiar, but we're going to be dipping into this a little bit. And I got to say, disappointed, honestly, with you. So this follows the same pattern I see with a lot of Star Wars books, even ones with some familiar characters. We're putting everybody in a situation where it's like mildly engaging. We're bringing along a lot of like the bounty hunter characters. So if you're into Star Wars bounty hunter, I think you're going to dig this one. But if you're not, you're going to be asking yourself, who is this and who is that? This is taking place after Jedi, so we get to see exactly what's going on with Luke and Leia and Han and everybody else. So that's pretty cool. And they're going around the galaxy. They're trying to make peace. They're trying to make sure everyone's okay, track down the last of the Empire, and trying to help everything out. But there's a secret conspiracy going on right now, and they're trying to battle all that. There's these trade routes getting interrupted by these pirates and whatnot, and they're trying to understand exactly what that means and everything. Of course, there's some, peace talks and things like that, but there's some backstabbing happening inside of this issue. So if you're into like the political game, I think you might be enjoying this one right here. But wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I still think Star Wars Jedi Knights is the better run right now. Takes place in the prequels. Who would have thought that? But anyways, let me know what you guys thought of Star Wars number 1. All right, let's go over to DC. We have Absolute Green Lantern issue number 2. So a lot of criticism for issue number 1, and I agree with that. I don't have a lot of familiarity with Green Lantern in general, so it wasn't as exciting for me. And there wasn't a lot of exciting things that happened, a lot of mystery and a lot of, violence here and there. We do get a little bit that inside of this issue as well, as we're understanding exactly who's been imbued with the powers, how they got that power, and they get to see exactly what happened in that small town when this like mysterious symbol fell from the sky and this alien being is showing up and somewhat threatening the people and the citizens of this town. We get to see exactly what happened during that altercation, which that was pretty interesting. There's still something about this book, though, that's just not as exciting as the other Absolute books, I would say. It's kind of trailing behind a little bit on that level. The artistic approach is pretty cool. The artwork is fine. The coloring is fine as well, but I think it's just missing that oomph. I don't exactly know what it is, but when I'm reading Wonder Woman or Superman or Martian Manhunter, like those books have that it factor. I haven't read it yet inside of this one. I hope it's going to be coming very soon because this character, this brand, Green Lantern in general, I think needs that to really push it more into the forefront of people's minds, especially mine. So I really hope that that's going to be coming with Absolute Green Lantern. But until then, we're going to be continuing reading this one for now. Al Ewing's on this one. We're going to be checking out number 2's out. Let me know if you read it. Continuing DC, we have Batgirl issue number 7. Great ending to the last arc right there with Lady Shiva and her supposed death. It's comic books, die-off panel. Who knows, guys, right? So basically, we have Cassandra Cain going through the diary of her mom. Basically, it's one of those packages where if you're reading this, I'm already dead, so let me tell you my story kind of a thing. And it's a welcomed moment because I don't think we know a whole lot about Lady Shiva's history. This might be breaking new ground. Not entirely sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we get to explore what Lady Shiva was like when she was younger, who her parents were, her sister, who raised her, who trained her, and all of that stuff. And, you know, how she got her bloodlust to begin with. That explained all throughout this whole issue. Handled really well, I think, right there. So if you wanted the secrets of Shiva, you're going to get it in Batgirl issue number 7. Make sure to check it out. Ram V, Anat RK, and Mike Spicer on Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma issue number 2, the Black Label book with that Jeff decal variants. Outstanding package all around. So if you're new to the Resurrection Man, he's this immortal being. Essentially, whenever he dies, he gets a superpower that's related to the way that he died. So if he dies in a fire, maybe he can control fire. If he dies by getting shot by bullets, maybe he can shoot something or something like that, right? His new power evolves over time. He was just killed by time itself. He just lived too long and lived a fulfilling life with his family that he just left. And it was a really, really sweet moment in the first issue. We also got an introduction to the villain in here as well in the first issue. We get a really sick follow-up to that inside of here, like what's the physical state of that person and like what his goals are. Really interesting dude, very, very sick. But what do you do when you're a master of time? We explore that in here. Who's this other version of like ourself in here, giving us some clues as to how to manipulate that power? And what do you do with it? Can you actually go back in time, change events around that, you know, weren't really satisfying, or maybe you didn't handle something the right way in the past? Maybe there's some relationships you could have saved, people you could have saved, decisions you could have made. We're going to be exploring that inside of here, and we're featuring a few different stories inside this book doing just that. Amazing back matter as well. We get some black and white artwork, really showcasing some of the amazing artistic styles that we have inside the book. And it's just a great, great book about time travel, regrets, and, you know, what do you do when you get second chances? It's all packed up in here. Make sure you read it. Absolute Superman issue number 7. This is one of those issues that just makes you smile and giggle the entire time you're reading it, featuring the ultimate Brainiac in here. We get to see exactly what Brainiac was up to, which version of Brainiac this is, and when you read the book, you'll understand exactly what's going on. There was like basically a council of Brainiacs. This particular one was kind of a janitor. He had that kind of a job. He completed that job over, you know, tens of years. And when he went out to see what's going on, everything has been wiped out. And he's kind of like the ultimate Brainiac. And he's basically lost his mind throughout this entire thing. And it's just in spectacular fashion, by the way. The art in here is gruesome. It's gnarly. It's just something I just did not expect whatsoever. And I got to say that perfectly matches the story we got. Did not see that coming at all as well. So if you want to see Brainiac in this like just impossibly insane scenario and rank going up the ladders and becoming like the ultimate Brainiac, this is the book for you right here. Ultimate Superman issue number 7 really, really threw me off at first. Had a great time with it. Let me know if you read it. Let's jump over to Dynamite. We have Captain Planet issue number 1. Really looking forward to this one. Was able to get my hands on an advanced copy, and it is awesome. I will say that if you liked a lot of the nostalgic bumps you'd be getting with Space Ghost and Johnny Quest and Thundercats and all that, it's very much inside that vein. It's a great issue number 1 for people who don't know who these characters are, but if you were a fan of the cartoon show in the 90s, it's basically the exact same thing. We have Gaia in here. We have all of our heroes. We have Captain Planet. This is kind of an origin story. These people don't know each other. They're being imbued with their powers during this issue right here. So it's a great place to jump in if you don't have any familiarity. But again, if you do, man, you're going to see all these things coming, and it's just going to be giving you goosebumps, right? Taking you back to the good old days for sure. Really excited to see what villains they bring into, because Captain Planet's got some amazing villains. We have a couple big ones already showing up inside this issue, but we have a lot more that could be coming our way. So we get those Mark Spears covers, man. Those are really, really awesome. Captain Planet strumming those nostalgic vibes. As always, make sure to check it out. Let's go over to Mad Cave for Vanishing Point issue number 1. Mark Russell on this one, and we have Wando on the art. So if you like traveling to Mars, I think you're really going to dig this book. It has that same vibe where there's a guy isolated in space, albeit for different reasons inside of here. But it does showcase like the mental decline and insanity building up inside that person because of that mission that they're on and how isolated they are. But it has a completely different twist to it, and somewhat of a tragic ending as well. My understanding is this is going to be, a limited series with like a different artist or something like that. So this is a great issue number 1 right here. Anthology kind of a setting, my understanding is. And Mark Russell's doing a great job. Again, it has that traveling to Mars vibe to it for sure. Dude's alone in space. He's hallucinating. He wants to go home. He can't. He has to fulfill a mission, and he kind of gets lost in the process. Really, really great issue number 1. Vanishing Point number 1. Make sure to read it. All right, we got a ton of Image books to look at. We have Kaya issue number 26, Wes Craig on top of this one. New arc right here. You could almost jump in if you wanted to. They feed you a lot of the information about what exactly has been going on. We touch base with the evil robot army who just kind of went through some kind of a uprising in one of the past issues. We touch base with them. We get to see where Kaya and Jin are with Razel as well. And we still don't have a lot of trust from that perspective, but we get a lot of great, just quiet moments inside this book with those 3 characters specifically going back and forth about how they don't trust each other. Maybe Kaya and Jin's father wasn't as trustworthy or as noble as they remember. This guy remembers exactly who he was and what kind of person he was and the decisions he had to make. On top of all that, we get that amazing, amazing Wes Craig art and amazing coloring inside the book as well. This is probably one of the most grounded, slower paced, but well-welcomed issue, I would say, in Kaya, because recently we got some chaotic moments for sure. This one takes it back a little bit and kind of grounds us again, and it was a well-received issue for me. Issue number 26, Kaya, is out. Make sure to get the collected editions if you haven't yet. They read super quick. You can jump into the new arc as well. Let me know if you are. Let me know if you read it. There are a lot of new Image number 1s that came out this week. We have Blood and Thunder issue number 1. This is one I was looking forward to a lot. Amazing variant covers on here. I heard Kirkman was part of the story on this one, but Benito Sereno on the writing, EJ Sue on the art, and we have Masasic, I think, on the colors. Really cool story, I would say. Female bounty hunter kind of a person, not really a cop, didn't go through the academy. She's tracking down all these people. She has almost like a Judge Dredd style AI gun. It has its own personality. It's like her sidekick, her partner. And that weapon was passed down to her from her father. And it was a really cool dynamic between the 2 characters. I love when the main character has some kind of a AI or robotic companion with them. We see it all the time in comics, and usually it works really, really well. This book is no different right here. She's tracking down people that can't be tracked down by the normal system, and she's doing the Lord's work, right? And I just love the dynamic. I love the world building in here. It's got that Judge Dredd vibe for sure, but it's got some levity to it. And of course, we have some crazy aliens we're going to be encountering as well. Big prison heist, things like that. And it's going to be really cool to see where the story goes. This one really surprised me this week, so make sure to check it out if you haven't yet. We also had Free Planet issue number 1 out this week. This was one I was really excited for as well. We have Sitterson and Daughtry on this. I will say that this book has a lot of narration, a lot of world building, a lot of character building in here. It does take you to a lot of different places, and it takes a couple of reads, to be honest with you, to understand the politics, the backstory, the history, the rationales to what's going on. But essentially, we have this character here who wants to free the world, basically, right? But you can't really do that overnight. There's going to be a lot of resistance to that, a lot of feuds still going on, and there's a lot of key players that are trying to control all the different areas of this world and everything. So, God, man, there is so much world building and things happening inside this first issue. I definitely did not get it on the first. I had to flip through it a couple more times to piece things together. We're introduced to a wide variety of characters inside here as well. We got a little bio for each one of those. The art was really cool inside of here. I think the story is very ambitious. It's very cumbersome, but like in a good way. You want to do your homework. You want to revisit things to see if you got everything. And the characters have some interesting personalities for sure inside of here. So I think it's going to be a story that's going to take some time, right? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy, but I think it's going to be worth it for sure. Issue number 1 is out. Let me know if you read it. Next up is Gromit's issue number 7, the long-awaited issue right here. It's been several months since we had issue number 6. This one's closing it out over here. I will say in a collected edition, this would read really, really well. It wasn't bad month to month because the artistic approach was really fun and exciting, bright, vibrant, clean art. I've never seen anything like it before. Brett Parsons on this one, and it's been a really cool story. So where are we leaving off in here? Basically, it's kind of a bittersweet ending, to say the least. We have one of our main characters who's getting into like the skater club. He's trying to find girls and stuff. They're getting beat up by bullies. He has, kind of flaky friends, but they're friends, right? Nonetheless, he's moving very soon. We do resolve that whole thing right there, and we get to see exactly, like where these characters go from there, right? Like they're in this new environment now. They have to deal with all that. They got to deal with all the drama from back home with the bullies and everything, and they do that. There's a little bit of magic at the end of this book as well. The story could really go anywhere. It's got that kind of like a Sandlot kind of a vibe to it at the very, very end. Things are going to be okay. People are going to like do the right thing and like achieve that goal that they want. And it doesn't exactly spoon feed you that, but it leaves you that hope, at least towards the end of this book. So Gromit's is something really, really special, I would say. If you haven't read it, definitely pick it up on collected edition. If they make a hardcover of this, I think that would be really cool as well. So pick this up if you haven't read it yet. It was really fun. Let me know if you read it. Lastly, over in Image, we have The Moon is Following Us issue number 9. Of course, we have Daniel Warren Johnson, Riley Rasmo, and Mike Spicer on this one. One more issue to go in this series. It's been a great series. It's full of emotion. It's full of family. It's full of drama, secrets, twists, and turns. It's built perfectly, pacing-wise for single issues, but it's going to read great in a collected edition if you haven't read that yet. We're winding things down right now. We do resolve a whole lot inside this issue, so I feel like this next one is going to be more of a kind of like where we go from here, right? Kind of a situation. Not exactly sure. There's still things to wrap up, but we do kind of, meet our goals inside this issue. We do have some losses that I did not see coming as well in here. So again, it's your typical, and I say that in the best way possible, Daniel Warren Johnson book with Mike Spicer. Riley's on this one as well. We get this great emotional story with family and everything else inside of it. We're going to wrap it up in a nice tight package right here. We have one more issue to kind of figure out where we're going to go from here, and I am all for it. It's been a spectacular read. Definitely pick it up in collected edition. If you haven't read this one yet, you could probably find the floppies at your LCS as well. Let me know if you read it down below. I forgot I had another Mad Cave book. We have Far Down Below issue number 2. Chris Condon on this one as well. If you like a combination of like a Goonies or the Journey to the Center of the Earth, you want a sci-fi vibe to it as well, I think you're going to get that inside of here. We basically have this mystery at the center of the Earth, right? We got this family who's been involved with all of that stuff. We have some family lore and legend. We have people kind of going crazy due to isolation. Then we got these kids wrapped up into everything and falling into this drama and having to deal with the repercussions of that, any kind of dangers that go along with it. So if you want to see kids getting up to no good, tracking down some, family legacy drama stuff, and you get some supernatural elements and a journey to the center of the earth, that's what this is all about inside of Far Down Below issue number 2. Make sure to check this one out if you haven't. Let me know if you did. Going over to Oni Press, we have Plague House issue number 2 out. So this one kind of explores the characters that we were introduced to who are on these like supernatural investigations a little bit more. We get to learn about their personalities, their inner dynamics, things like that. And we get to learn a deep, dark secret of one of them throughout this entire issue, right? Like he's going to these houses, he's exploring these spiritual events, right? These spectral events, but that he's also doing other things as well to either get revenge for these spirits or whatever, or make it even worse. Not exactly sure. We're going to be exploring a little bit more of that as we go. So it's violent, it's gory, it has its twists and turns for sure. The team is kind of falling apart a little bit in here because of like the hubris of certain people's on the team, but it's still intriguing. It's engaging. It's a fun book. It's not like anything I've ever read story-wise. It's pretty cool. Plague House issue number 2. Let me know if you checked it out. All right, we're going to wrap it up with Superhero Comics Pussy Thief. This is the one-shot, kind of a bootleg comic, I would say, but it definitely has its twists and turns and sets itself apart from, say, the Martin Man or bootleg Spider-Man, things like that. It has a different vibe, but it gives you that same kind of feel. So if you're a superhero fan, you definitely got to be picking this one up because it was incredible. So right off the bat, you're going to get this bootleg vibe, obviously, right, with some Batman love interests and anti-heroes inside of the DC universe. But there's going to be this insane twist to it. I will say, not only from how the character acts and behaves and like goes about her way, but he also shocks the reader with like where the story goes in general and like what all this actually was. So I really liked all of that right there. A little bit of not a bait and switch, but like a good twist towards the end. He even gets a little cameo in here, which I thought was really cool. His art is just leveling up issue after issue. He's got 2 issues of Steel Streets number 10, part 1 and part 2 up for pre-order right now. And I cannot wait for that. All the behind the scenes photos look spectacular. Love this guy's work so much. Make sure to check out Superhero. This is, again, kind of like in that bootleg line. If you like what you've seen so far, definitely got to pick this one up. It's adult though, guys. Just make sure you're aware of that one. Let me know if you read it down below. All right, guys, that's what I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below what you read and what your favorite books of the week were. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the comments.